Hi, my name is Adam, and I'm a dietitian intern with the Canadian Celiac Association. Today I've got some tips to help you stay on a budget while maintaining a gluten-free diet. Being diagnosed with celiac disease can be overwhelming. It means challenging new lifestyle changes, dietary restrictions, and dealing with pain and discomfort anytime you're accidentally exposed to gluten. And on top of all that, whether you're a long-time gluten-free expert or just newly diagnosed, there's always the added financial burden of eating gluten-free. In fact, a study done in 2019 found that gluten-free products were on average 183% more expensive than their non-gluten-free counterparts. What that means is that your average loaf of gluten-free bread costs nearly twice as much as a regular loaf. And another study done in 2016 found that Canadian families that deal with celiac disease spend nearly $300 per month more on groceries than other families. So the situation seems pretty rough, but today I've got 10 tips to help you stay on a budget and save some money while maintaining a gluten-free diet. So let's get started. Tip number 1. Shop at grocery stores rather than ordering online or going to health food stores. A recent study found that gluten-free products were actually cheapest at your good old neighborhood grocery store when compared to health food stores or online ordering. For bonus points, you might try going to international grocery stores, especially when you're looking for bulk items like gluten-free grains such as rice or just fresh fruit and vegetables. International grocery stores have a wide selection and they tend to be quite a bit cheaper than your average grocery store. Tip number 2. Shop seasonally and locally. This is great advice no matter what diet you're following. As amazing as it is to have that delicious avocado in the middle of January, it comes at a fairly high price, and doing it over time can really batter your bank account. Instead, it's better to look for vegetables and fruits that are in season, such as squash and pumpkins in the fall or asparagus and strawberries in the spring. Not only is that easier on your wallet, but it also means you're getting fruits and vegetables when they're in season, and that's in fact when they taste best. Tip number 3. Buy big. Get a Costco membership or shop at other warehouse stores for frozen gluten-free foods or other staple items. You may even consider getting an extra freezer to store your gluten-free items. Buying in bulk is always wise, provided you're purchasing foods you use on a regular basis. There is no point in spending any money on a family-sized pack of a product that's new to you or a product that might sit on the shelf and get stale. However, if you're purchasing items that you use on a daily basis, buying in bulk can be a great way to save some money. Tip number 4. Use flyers and coupons. Look through your junk mail or check the entrance to your local grocery store for flyers that can help you save some money on groceries. It's also smart to keep an eye out for sales and stock up on your favorite gluten-free items whenever they go on sale. If you're buying gluten-free bread on sale, you can stock up and then store any extras in the freezer. Tip number 5. Eat more plants. Legumes like beans and lentils are cheap compared to meat and they contain plenty of protein, so be sure to stock up on canned and dried legumes. Legumes are also particularly rich in B vitamins and they contain plenty of fiber. This is particularly important for people who are dealing with celiac disease because a lot of gluten-free items are very low in fiber. So legumes are a great way to be sure that you're not missing the mark when it comes to this critical nutrient. Tip number 6. Find alternatives to gluten-free processed foods such as cereals, snack bars, and breads. For example, in the morning for breakfast, instead of having a bowl of gluten-free cereal, you might consider making oatmeal, of course, with certified gluten-free oats. If you really want that cereal, you can make a box last a bit longer by mixing it in with yogurt or fruit. For lunch, instead of having a sandwich on expensive gluten-free bread, you could try making a wrap with rice paper or with corn tortillas. Or you could try taking something like a rice bowl, or a salad, or a chili, or a baked potato with toppings to work for lunch instead. Tip number 7. Don't go too heavy on gluten-free products like cookies, breads, or crackers. As much as these snack products are delicious, they tend to be quite expensive, and they also tend to be high in calories and fairly low in nutrients. If you do end up going for such a product, try to find one that you like and stick with that. While the gluten-free sections of most grocery stores are getting bigger and bigger by the day, you may want to avoid the temptation of trying every new gluten-free product that comes out on the market and stick with the tried, tested, and true. Tip number 8. Join the Canadian Celiac Association's national Facebook page. The Canadian Celiac community online is always sharing their thoughts and their reviews on new gluten-free products. You can save yourself money and save yourself the hassle of trying out a bunch of new products and simply go online and look for reviews. People on the Canadian Celiac Association's Facebook page are also always sharing budget tips and new recipe ideas, and it's also great to be part of such a supportive online community. Tip number 9. Get involved in cooking and baking. Most of us, whether or not we have celiac disease, have a fairly limited repertoire in the kitchen. But learning how to cook and bake can really be a great way to save some money. It means we're less dependent on going to gluten-free bakeries or looking for gluten-free prepared frozen foods that tend to be a little more expensive. To save some extra hassle, you could try cooking big batches on the weekend and then freezing meals to heat up throughout the week. However, we all need a break from cooking once in a while, so don't beat yourself up if you need to reach for one of those frozen dinners, such as a gluten-free pizza or some gluten-free fish sticks once in a while. Tip number 10. Look into claiming gluten-free foods as incremental medical costs on your taxes. If you are diagnosed with celiac disease, you can claim the incremental cost of buying gluten-free foods. The incremental cost simply means the cost of a gluten-free food item over and above the cost of a similar item that isn't gluten-free. This does require saving a lot of grocery store receipts, and it can be a bit of a hassle. However, the Canadian Celiac Association has great resources that you can sign up for by going on their website or simply by clicking the link that's in the description below. By following some of these tips, it should be possible to stay on a gluten-free diet without breaking the bank. Hopefully this has been helpful, and happy savings!